Hello and welcome to my channel. This video and the next chunk are going to be going over some good basic movements, core activation, stretching, mobility, strengthening stuff for early days postpartum. Hopefully you enjoy. Alrighty, so we are going to be going over how to activate your transverse abdominis. So this is kind of like the big deep band of muscle that's underneath all your six-pack abs, combined with your diaphragm on the top, pelvic floor on the bottom, and then your little tiny back muscles called your multifidi. These four are what controls the intra-abdominal pressure. This is also your postural muscles, super important. So postpartum, all of this is a little messed up, whether or not you've had a C-section, natural birth, whatever. Basically with just some gentle breathing and kind of how we're doing that, you're going to start to be able to activate a little bit, and then eventually you can progress on to harder exercises. Okay, so finding your transverse abdominis, it's all this big band here. Basically find your hip bones. You're going to go kind of in an inch and down an inch. So in between that pubic symphysis and those side hip bones. Just rest your fingertips there. Inhale and exhale. Pulling your belly button in a little bit, or kind of sucking the front of your body a little towards the back of your body. Inhale, exhale. And you should feel a little bit of something kind of happen right in that area. So that is this muscle. Basically, we need to just start gently contracting in and being able to breathe. So that inhale, exhale is what we're going to go with. So you inhale to prep. On your exhale, you're imagining those muscles kind of wrapping around, shooting energy through and kind of also up a little bit. Ideally, we have the front of our rib cage and the front of our hip bones kind of imaginarily suspended together. So as you breathe, we're not popping up through this part of our chest either. So it's just a then can we keep that a little engaged while we breathe? And you should notice my rib cage and lungs moves a little bit more. And relax. If you're nice and tuned in, we also want to make sure we're kind of lifting up through the pelvic floor on that exhale. So we inhale, our diaphragm lowers, our pelvic floor relaxes, and our stomach kind of fills up a little bit. On our exhale, our pelvic floor lifts, our diaphragm lifts, and our transverse abdominis kind of narrows in. So you're kind of trying to shimmy into a tighter pair of pants, but not super tight. We just want that little bit of hugged in, supported feeling. All right. So you can also do the same thing lying down. So particularly after a C-section or right after giving birth, lying down is lovely. So while we're lying down, rest hands on the stomach. Inhale and exhale. Gently drawing everything up and in. It's almost kind of squeezing some juice out of a juice box. It's not a huge, we're not trying to clench. Inhale, exhale. Find that connection. Inhale, exhale. Then we stay engaged while we inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. This is also a good place to check for your diastasis, which is this kind of line here that can separate when we're pregnant. So now postpartum, you don't want this line to be kind of bulging or popping out or having your abs, those rectus abdominis, separate more. So we want to think about them kind of knitting back together. So you just kind of rest your hand near your belly button, and if it can sink in pretty far, you're wanting to make sure that it's not getting any worse when you do your exercises. So breathing is always safe. But you don't want to go into a head lift or a leg lift or anything, double leg lifts, if this is going to start to pop up, especially early days. Okay, our second most important exercise besides just the breathing is actually going to be some form of bridging. So we're going to start with the pelvic tilt, and we're going to build into a flat back bridge and an articulated bridge. So with your pelvic tilt, don't mind my hair, we're thinking about our sacrum, which is this triangle bone here, just kind of rocking back and forth. And then, if that's all that feels okay, we keep doing that. As you tuck, we should feel those abs kick on a little bit. We shouldn't really be clenching through our butt. Then we release. If we get abs on and butt, see how that tips me more, and release. So your articulated bridge is that tuck, and we keep tucking. Imagine that you're trying to lift through all of your internal organs, keep connected, then keep your pelvis high, keep your organs sucked in, roll yourself down. Again, no doming or popping up here. We tuck, we peel, we pause at the top. You should feel a lot of hamstring and glutes. And then keep the pelvis tucked, keep pelvic floor sucked in, deep ab moment, release off. Ideally, knees don't come out super wide. They try to track with your hips too. If they can't, we're a little bit tight on the outside of the hips. Your flat back bridge, stay connected here, gentle core engagement. Hinge up through the hips, hinge down. As we do these bridges, we're thinking to suck our leg bones into our pelvis. So we're kind of pulling with the feet as we hinge up, so you'll get extra hamstring activation, and then come down out of it. So with all these exercises, you're just kind of doing whatever feels okay. Honestly, my first week-ish postpartum, it was do 5, take a break. Maybe try again 3 hours later, or that night, or tomorrow. You shouldn't feel any bad strain. It should kind of feel like you're unhumpty dumptying yourself and starting to reconnect the pieces. The other piece also would be how many am I working towards? With the breathing and the transverse abdominis activation, eventually you want to be able to hold that contraction for several breaths. Aiming for 6 to 10 reps multiple times a day is great. And then there's harder exercises that I'll give you too. Nice progressions. And then with the articulated bridges and the flat back bridges, similar. So honestly, for me, it was quality over quantity. And then also aiming for 3, 5, 8 good ones, maybe a couple times a day. All right? Okay, final piece, I'm going to show you transverse abdominis when you're standing. Don't mind all the mess. Newborn life. So if I'm just standing here, you can see my stomach's kind of just hanging out a little bit, sort of. So stack feet underneath hip bones, push your feet into the floor. When you push your feet into the floor, you should feel your inner thighs into pelvic floor and abs kind of kick on. So we start with that. We push our feet into the floor, then we're trying to kind of shoot energy up through our body. As the energy shoots up and through, you should feel whoop, everything kind of zippers in. We're not here, because we should still be able to breathe. We're not doing other funny, clenchy things. So this is just quiet stand. Inhale. Exhale. Push feet into floor. Pull up through that pelvic floor. Shoot energy all the way up through and out your mouth. We're gently engaged and drawn in. And theoretically, you'll see this is a little bit different. So we're not going to walk around like this all the time, but this is just turning these muscles on here. Hopefully that was helpful. Remember to like, share, subscribe, etc., all that good stuff. If you are looking for more pregnancy, postpartum related content, I'm your girl. Hopefully you have a great day. See you soon. Bye.